All right, so we will get started. Hello, my name is Mackenzie Mansell, and I will be your host for Unlocking Success, Immigrant Attraction and Promotional Tools. This workshop will be delivered in English. There's live French translation available by simply clicking on the globe icon with interpretation written below it. We have time to answer your questions towards the end of this workshop. Communities and businesses thrive on diversity and cross-cultural collaboration in today's interconnected world. Our workshop will be co-facilitated by two dynamic subject matter experts who are about to share their knowledge and tools to effectively attract and engage immigrants in various contexts. Sorry there, I just lost my place. We're about to share their knowledge and tools to effectively attract and engage immigrants in various contexts, fostering mutual growth and prosperity. Our first presenter is Gerard Keledjian, the founder and managing director of New Horizons Media Incorporated, a multicultural social enterprise for creating services, storytelling, and newcomer marketing. Gerard and his team of internationally trained media professionals and Canadian-born young graduates assist nonprofits and small businesses in Canada to meet their brand messaging, outreach, and engagement goals. Gerard is passionate about newcomer integration and immigrant entrepreneurship. In April 2015, he launched New Canadians, a national TV network that continues to help newcomers and would-be immigrants succeed in their lives and work in Canada. A frequent speaker at immigrant-related events across the country, Gerard has won industry accolades, including the Pioneers for Change Award for Excellence in Innovation and the MNLCT Community Impact Award in 2016. Our second presenter is Lee Vijayabalan, a 27-year-old entrepreneur, coach, consultant, and second-generation immigrant whose parents arrived in Canada as refugees from Sri Lanka. As a serial entrepreneur, he has founded several successful ventures, including Tomorrow Incorporated, a creative and marketing agency, Tomorrow Tech, a software development company, Altspace Co-working, a sprawling 24,000 square foot co-working and office space, and the innovative Welcome Platform, a mobile app designed to ease newcomer onboarding. Beyond his entrepreneurial endeavors, Lee is deeply committed to positively impacting issues that have impacted his life. He actively volunteers in support of various causes close to his heart, including the arts, aiding newcomers, combating violence against women, and providing assistance to children in poverty. Lee's personal experience and dedication to these causes have shaped the trajectory of missions with his companies and the project he works on today. So please join me in welcoming both our speakers. We're so glad to have you here. And I'm just going to throw it over to Gerard to kick us off.
Thank you, Mackenzie, and thank you for this conference, for this opportunity to talk about this important topic. Let me just share my screen. And so this session is about immigrant attraction and the secrets and the tricks to and the promotional tools to do that. And that's what I do through my work, and also with my team is putting, in relation to this conference, putting Canadian communities on the immigrant map. This is my details, my email address, and New Canadians TV network is a division of New Horizons Media. So I'll start.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So as the keynote speaker yesterday, Karim mentioned, most immigrants most immigrants come to Canada, and this is not a secret to anyone, knowing about 1 or 4 of the cities you're seeing on your screen: Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, Calgary. For them, Canada is one or some of these cities. And that's not a surprise, because all the other communities, all the other cities and the opportunities that they present are not on their map. That's they haven't heard about them. They don't know about them. They don't realize what they offer, and they don't understand beyond these cities what's present there. Because either there's no effort to explain or to promote, or in some cases it's not part of a complete strategy, or it's not effective. Myself, I'm based in Toronto, and occasionally many communities come to Toronto. They take part in a job fair, in a newcomer event, or they produce a video. Let's say they launch a campaign, and it's a picture perfect postcard that this beautiful view of the Rocky Mountains, or the ocean, or this video that's trying to attract tourists. But in this case, we're trying to attract residents, inform residents about these communities, about this specific community, so that they decide to live, work, and play there. And also one of the other things that we see as well through our work, through our observation, is that they do one step, not part of a strategy, as I mentioned. They do one step, and then they expect results. And when they get disappointed, then they stop. So what I mean is one video, for example, one video campaign or social campaign, or one participation at a fair will not lead to success, because it has to be consistent and ongoing and regular. And I'll share another number as well that might not be secret for you. It's always in, they talk about it, is that around 60% of newcomers, they don't use settlement services simply because they don't know about them, or they don't realize the value, or they don't think that it's for them or it helps them. And the same number, or even more actually, applies to knowing about communities as well. Even more than 60% applies to communities as well. So how can we solve this or address this? And I'll give you the secret right from the beginning, which is my next slide. It's through storytelling and sharing authentic, trusted information. And I will touch on few points of storytelling and sharing genuine information. Is that first, you need to know your audience. I mentioned earlier, we're not trying to attract tourists per se, we're trying to attract residents. So the approach should be different. The message should be different. It has to be authentic, genuine. We're not trying to mislead, misinform, or kind of cheat, if I may use that word, to get them to, let's say, live in our community or work in our community, because we won't be successful in the retention part if they didn't get the full picture. And that's why it's important to be visual as well. And in our case, because we are video-based, as an example, a lot could be shared, a lot could be presented visually without even mentioning it. But the power of the image, the power of the coupled with an audio makes that impact. And also the information we are sharing is in all your outreach approach, in all your attraction efforts, should be deep and useful information, not shallow and just kind of trying to get their interest, but then there's nothing beyond that, so that they get something out of it. And that's how they trust your information and they also follow you. Yeah. So how, in our case, I'll use our case at New Canadians TV Network as an example, but this applies to whichever platforms or whichever situations you are in. So in our case, how we do the storytelling and information sharing, we create content to do that, to tell the stories, to share the information. And I mentioned as well that it has to be part of a strategy. So content is a big part of it, but it can't be just one, the only part in that strategy. It has to have it has to be coupled with ads, in our case, online or on TV. You may have other avenues for advertising as well. Coupled with social media and effective use of social media, and also events, whether in person or virtual. In our case, we do both, and this helps us by creating the helpful content. This helps us be very effective, and it will help you be very effective as well in all your social efforts, in all your advertising campaigns, and in all the events you may organize or you may be part of to promote the value of the region. So this content, this advertising campaign, and all this effort, where do we take them? We take them to across platforms, and that's one of our strengths as well. So we are on TV. We are the only national show in Canada on TV, but we don't stop there. And yes, you have to be in Canada to watch it. But what we do, we take our content across platforms, and whatever is produced on TV goes on the website, on our YouTube channel, and into our virtual space. And speaking about the TV, because I mentioned it's the leading multicultural channel, that allows us to tap into the audience, the established audience that the channel has, and everyone from that audience would have at some point a family member or a friend or a relative immigrating to Canada. So they, even if they are not a recent newcomer or immigrant even, they would be acting as someone who would recommend or refer and talk about these resources. And the content we create talks about these points across platforms and in different formats. In relation to this conference, we always have content featuring Canadian communities, provinces, cities, towns. We have immigration news, obviously, many resources in the forms of interviews, videos, stories, feature stories, and also downloadable resources that talk about settlement, employment, education, skills training, entrepreneurship. We always feature immigrant success stories in their own words because they would be the best ambassadors. And you can apply all this in your case, by the way. I'm using our example, but you can learn a lot and apply in your case as well. Also, we include in our resources, industry experts, career coaches who share how to overcome some of the challenges that newcomers to Canada or newcomers to your community might face. And these are examples also of two resources that are downloadable that I mentioned, ebooks. One is for pre-arrival, one is for introverted newcomers, for job search. And we're currently working on another ebook for networking and the guide for bridging programs. Why do we this? Because we believe in being a multi-format and multi-platform initiative, so that our viewers, our audience, and in this case, the newcomers you are trying to attract to your communities, can consume the content and the message through different ways that they are comfortable with, or platforms, formats they are comfortable with. And these are some of our virtual talk shows as well, that in addition to the TV show, present or distribute the live and recorded content that we produce. So as I mentioned, what we do, and this is very important as well in maximizing the message, and also giving multiple opportunities for people to consume the content, because there's a lot of noise out there as well. Someone who may have come across your message, they might not get it maybe fully, or even in part at the first time, but we give them multiple opportunities to understand. And whatever we produce for TV, we take it to our website, we take it to our YouTube channel in full or in part, depending on the topic, on the content, on the story that we created. And also conferences, virtual, we take them, some of the content back to the website in the forms of articles, video segments, to our social media, our in-person events. 400 or 500 people, let's say, attend those. But by creating content out of that conference, so one example is our Immigrant Business Expo event, more people would know about whatever was spoken at that conference by watching our TV, one of our TV episodes, for example, or maybe coming across one of our videos on YouTube or on our website, on our social channels. So this kind of this circular or cross-platform approach is very important, and we don't stop there as well. We also take our content to other partner sites. By partner sites, I mean I can give you examples. We take some of our content to a multicultural magazine in Victoria, BC, so their audience come across some of our content as well. We partner with a few of the pre-arrival programs, so they share our content with their registered, qualified immigrant clients, and also recently we partnered with just this is very new, a week ago, with an app that's for individuals who are about to immigrate to Canada as international students. So they want to share all the content that we're producing, we've produced and we will produce in the future about communities with those international students, future international students, as well as the employment tips as well, so that they can overcome the challenges, because most of them will end up applying for immigration. Because this conference is about attraction, immigrant attraction, I will spotlight one section of our work, which is we call Destination Canada. It's a section of our website and our TV show where we feature communities, so across Canada. And these are some of the communities that we featured, and there are many more. The slide doesn't have space to feature all of them. So by spotlighting these communities, because this is a big question for many immigrants who are coming to Canada and they don't have anyone in Canada they can ask. Let's say they don't have a relative, family member, or a friend. Literally, they can land in anywhere in Canada, or even if they have someone, the community where their friend is or their family member is may not be the best for their professional background. And by spotlighting the communities, we help them know about these communities and be able to decide if this community offers to them the professional opportunities, the job opportunities they are looking for, and also the lifestyle maybe they are looking for. And all this is communicated, as I mentioned, all this through even our own social channels. The picture I have included here, for example, is my first time attending a hockey game in Canada, ice hockey game in Canada, and it was in Pembroke. and unfortunately, the local team lost. So even we use even we take the content we produce to our own social channels, and the content we that goes into those special TV episodes, 30 minutes TV episodes, and from there goes to the websites in full and also in segments to social media, to the newsletter, to the virtual space, whatever, gives an overview about the community, how this community looks like, who is moving there, why they are moving there, how's their experience, what kind of supports are available there, what types of jobs are available there, or maybe business opportunities if they have business in mind. How immigrants are who have moved there are doing, what they have to share about their experiences. What we don't also hide the challenges they faced, but we try to be positive but realistic. Also, we try to present a solution as well, how they have overcome that solution. One example I will give, a few months ago, we featured Ukrainian newcomers who were moving to Huron County. And one of the Ukrainian newcomers, he mentioned that most of the, everything is good, but major challenge is transit. So there's no public transit. So he was giving a tip that if you're moving to this area, make sure that you need a car. So we don't hide that information because we want to be authentic and genuine. And if everything is good, or most of the things are good, and that community is very the right community for you, know that there is this challenge, and maybe save a couple of dollars more, or maybe delay your move maybe a few months, so that you can save enough to get a car, and you prioritize getting that experience letter about your driving, because from day one you need to apply for your driving license, because you will need that car in that community. But otherwise, everything else is good. And we also, because not everything is about employment as well, we also feature recreational opportunities and multicultural festivals to show that ethnic diversity, to show what they can do outside of their work hours. And this also indirectly helps kind of local tourism amongst other newcomers who may be within a day trip distance from that community, or may decide to even travel, fly to spend a long weekend or some time there, because it shows what's there in the community. And I'll use my example. We featured Renfrew County, for example, on our show, and I live in Toronto, and every year I've been to Ottawa, Montreal so many times, but I never knew what existed north of the 401, where Renfrew County is, and Lanark as well. Just because I didn't know and I hadn't seen, but the show helped me experience there. And now every time I pass through, I go to Ottawa again, or for a conference, or for Montreal, I make sure to pass through the region and enjoy some of the restaurants, or some of the other stuff, or even for a long weekend to spend with my family there. And that's what we're trying to communicate to our audience as well, showing and not just telling, because showing is more genuine, other telling. And beyond the TV or the video content that goes on the web and on TV, we also using the same example as Renfrew County, we also featured Renfrew County in one of our pre-arrival virtual conference, both during the panel discussion, which was about a panel discussion about choosing a destination city, but also through an information session about Renfrew County, and also Lanark County in this case, and in another virtual chat about establishing small businesses in small and medium communities. We featured a small business owner from Pembroke, who spoke about her pet food and business. So this is the example I gave in the form of Renfrew County. So we've broadcast a special episode we had produced about Renfrew County on our TV show. We posted the segments on our YouTube channel. Now we're posting them on our website. And that's the pre-arrival conference where the Jody from the local LIP presented about Lanark and Renfrew counties. And that's the panel discussion about choosing a destination city. So a mix of their direct and indirect approaches, coupled with some advertising, some social media work, and some events, virtual or in person. The whole message comes out to put, in this case, Renfrew County on the immigrant map of many future immigrants to Canada. Lastly, just if you're interested in learning more about or seeing all this content that I was talking about, there are many ways, whichever is accessible or comfortable for you. If you're in Canada, every week you can watch us on Omni Television throughout the year, on YouTube anytime on our YouTube channel, New Canadians, and also on our website, newcanadians.tv. And if you're following us on YouTube, make sure just to hit the notification bell so that you are notified of our live panel discussions when we live stream them to the channel. And if you want to connect more with our network, we are across platforms, so on social media as well as on the Telegram messaging app. Lastly, if you want to connect with me, I'll bring my details again on the screen. My email, gerard@newhorizons.media, or my LinkedIn profile. I'm unique on LinkedIn, so if you type my name, I will be the only result that shows up. And I will finish thanking you for attending this session, and I will finish with an image of the team to show the diversity of the team that understands the needs and the best ways to communicate with the audience, from Latin America to Europe to Africa and to the Middle East and Asia. So thank you once again. And I'll be happy to answer the questions at the end after Lee's presentation.
Thank you so much, Gerard. New Canadians is putting together some amazing resources and work. I've shared the links to your YouTube channel and website in the chat, and we'll be sure to circulate the rest of the information after our summit today. So with that said, I'll throw it over to Lee. The floor is yours.
Hello. How's everyone doing? Just give me one moment here. I'm gonna share my screen. Can you guys see my screen?
We can, thank you.
Awesome. All right, well, hello everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Today I'm going to be telling you how, but most importantly, why we're building the most capable technology for local communities to attract and retain newcomers. But first, I will quickly introduce myself. I was born in Scarborough 28 years ago today, actually, and of two Tamil-speaking parents who fled genocide in Sri Lanka. I dropped out of high school before my senior year, and I started my first business that summer. I started several small ventures after that before eventually starting a creative marketing agency 7 years ago. Today, I sit on the board on a number of different local cultural programs like the Film Festival or International Symphony Orchestra, among many other roles. I'm very passionate about a number of different causes, which as I share my story, I'll sure you'll understand why. So today I operate leading creative digital marketing and software agencies in my region as Tomorrow Tech, and Rocket Growth. Our mission at Tomorrow Inc., which is kind of my holding company, is to build a better tomorrow by supporting the missions of our clients. Additionally, I built these agencies so that I could incubate different future ventures, and having product design and development under the same roof as marketing, branding, and creative has enabled us to do so. Most recently, we have spun out the Welcome platform, a tool that enables communities to affordably launch their own welcome apps used to onboard newcomers to their communities. I'm going to be sharing with you more about the Welcome platform, but for those of you working with newcomers, I think what we're building will be quite exciting for you. So before I chat about all of that, I want to give you guys some background on why exactly we're even building this product to begin with. And to be honest with you, this immigration and settlement industry is actually quite new to me. I would hardly consider myself a subject matter expert, but I've been invited today to speak to you. So I settled on simply sharing with you my story and how it inspired a tool that I hope will help a lot of people. So hopefully that's interesting for all of you. So my parents actually immigrated to Canada just before I was born. We lived in the GTA for the first few years of my life. However, in an effort to escape domestic violence, my mother actually sought out some support, and social services helped us relocate away from my father. And they showed her a map. They said, here are 3 options. You can go to Waterloo, St. Catharines, or Sarnia. And she had never heard of Sarnia, but that was the farthest away from where we were living, so she chose it. And here's a picture of me and my siblings. We're sitting on a couch with our cousins from the UK who would visit us every several years. And it was one of the few times we would actually see people like us growing up. If you know what Sarnia Lambton looked like from a diversity perspective, around the year 2000 to 2008, you'd understand why. My mother went to college, she got a job, she did her best to provide for our family. However, I always heard the calls where she would cry to her friends back home. She was alone and it was killing her. She never went out with friends, rarely had visitors unless from out of town. She never dated, never had a life outside of her own and outside of church. However, my mother's experience equipped her with the knowledge, the map, and the empathy to help others fast track their journey out of the mud. One by one, once we got on our own feet, we'd get visitors from the GTA, single mothers who were also escaping domestic violence, typically from East Indian cultures like ours. And they would share our 2-bedroom apartment with us, sometimes for weeks, sometimes for months. And I would watch my mother so swiftly get them on their feet by connecting them to all the different supports and services that had lifted my own family up during our tough times. And this is what made it clear to me the importance of connecting newcomers rapidly and effectively when they arrive. As the first impressions, the first few weeks, the first connections, those can radically change the trajectory of their life. And it can be the difference between surviving, like we did for most of our life, and thriving. And this picture actually, it makes me laugh because it's pretty evident from our choice of hairstyle that we were literally the only people of color in our school growing up. So yeah, that's a fun one. And if you're wondering how the 4 of us got by in a 2-bedroom apartment, well, my sister actually slept in my mother's bed till she was 9. And then the most amazing thing happened to us. The community that we had grown up literally built a home for us. With the support of Habitat for Humanity and countless volunteers, my family got a house, and that has always stuck with me. See, when newcomers come into a community, they all have different stories. Like all of us here, they have unique struggles. However, many of them face challenges that we don't. Loneliness, culture shock, language barriers, economic barriers, social barriers. The way that we get through things together, the way that we get through things is together, and it's local communities and the people in it that do that. It's not the Canadian government that can make that kind of a difference. Furthermore, when we ensure that new families in our communities thrive, we build loyalty, trust, and a cycle of prosperity. Today, regardless of the small market that I live in, I refuse to build my businesses anywhere else. I employ local employees. I give back to my local organizations. And I think this is important. I think that it shows that there's a bit of an uphill battle to try and market in your community and attract newcomers from other communities. The cultural and economic draws are really, typically the biggest variables when you look at what's, moving around internally in our country. But the stories like mine highlight the opportunity to retain loyal new community members. And these community members will build economic and cultural opportunities for others in the future. And it kind of becomes like a flywheel. You never know why people end up in your community. It could be the most random reason, like the story that I shared today, or it could be because they are international students going to college, or there was a temporary job opportunity. You don't know what will bring them there. But that's your best chance to make your sale. And you make that sale by creating an amazingly welcoming community. So fast track 12 years later, when my local immigration partnership, who was actually already a client of ours through the county, they asked us for some support. and it was to connect newcomers during the pandemic. And I said, yeah, let's do it. So what ended up being a much bigger problem that we uncovered, but to really understand a problem, for me to solve it, I have to really get my fingers deep into it, and I have to really understand what I'm working with. So this is a picture, of one of the many calls and meetings that I had with over 30 different community stakeholders, lips from inside and outside the community, talking to police services, the YMCA, social services, employment services, the local colleges, and more. We started by conducting our own surveys and research. How can we help newcomers, in this stage of their settlement? What are the different challenges that organizations that work with newcomers are facing, and what are they saying that their newcomers are struggling with? We created personas in collaboration with these folks that are working with newcomers, so that we could really understand who are we building a solution for. We studied their individual journeys, mapping the pain points and the opportunities throughout. So what is their experience? How are they experiencing the new communities? Where are the challenges, and where could we hopefully see room for improvement? And finally, we worked with a locally assembled task force to prioritize the features for an MVP. And the result was the Welcome app, a mobile app built for integrating and connecting newcomers to resources, services, supports, and most importantly, their community, fully featured with custom checklists, central database for all the information, and it's completely multilingual, so they can access the information in their native language as well. We launched the Welcome app in Sarnia-Lambton, so the Welcome to Lambton app, and it's been a remarkable success. However, it was clear in our discovery that these aren't just Sarnia problems. In fact, across Canada, 29% of newcomers are struggling emotionally. 90% claim to be experiencing symptoms of anxiety. 1/3 of the newcomers in our county or in our country that say they feel a sense of belonging to Canada say they don't feel that sense of belonging in their local community. So that's 1/3 of that population. And this is a problem because diversity is what makes Canada great, and that can't only exist in our major cities. Not only do all Canadian communities need diversity, but they also require the newcomers and retaining them for sustainable growth, because from a population perspective, we're kind of collapsing in certain communities, and we're not replacing ourselves. So we actually need newcomers to like us and stay in our communities, or bad things will happen. So now you may be wondering, this all sounds great, Lee. How come every city doesn't afford this awesome resource to their newcomers? And to answer that in a word, it's money. I've spoken with many LIPs and settlement organizations, and the financial undertaking and risk associated with building a mobile app specifically for their community is far too high to make sense. In Sarnia-Lambton, my company covered a substantial sum of the cost to design and build the app. In addition, we're also the corporate sponsor, so I pay for 100% of the ongoing costs, like hosting, cloud computing, the labor and maintenance. However, most communities don't have a Tomorrow Inc. who's willing to do that. And they require, to make a capital expense to design and develop the app, which can range in costs. Then they would have to hire an agency or consultancy to manage the back end of the application, maintain the app, and then they also have to cover those cloud computing fees, and that can get very costly month after month. Then they would also be, have to be prepared to shell out even more cash anytime something goes wrong and needs fixing, or the app requires updates just to keep up with the times. That's cash that these lean running organizations don't have. So this is why we built the Welcome platform. It's a single multi-tenant application platform that enables us to launch completely custom mobile apps in weeks. And that's with no upfront costs, just a simple monthly or annual subscription fee. And if there are new features that need to be requested or needed over time, it's added to the platform for everyone's benefit at no additional cost. And as we continue to develop new features, we can our clients can draw just the features that they want to enable into their own app. So they don't have to use everything, they can use what works best for them. When our clients launch apps, they're building on top of the Welcome platform. So this comes with more than just an app on the App Store. It's one fixed cost for managed services, hosting, tech support, a content management system that we built for this app, multi-language editing, a local app website, marketing support, promo material, rollout strategy, training manuals, and access to our Welcome Champions community, where we can learn, and they can make suggestions for features and provide feedback. Lastly, the Welcome platform as a whole will advocate for newcomers across the platforms in all the communities that we're in, finding ways to directly provide services and opportunities to those newcomers themselves. And these are the three levels of opportunity that we think we can make an impact. So at the national level, we can make settlement smoother, better access to federal programs and services, and allow for more immigrant prosperity, just like the story that I shared. At the local level, we can improve immigrant retention, fuel better social and emotional wellness outcomes, and make it easier to deliver programs and services, and establish a better connection between newcomers and obviously their employment opportunities as well. And finally, for the newcomer, we can have a clear and streamlined process to immigrating and settling that is not overwhelming and difficult. They can now have a centralized and accessible place for all the information, and they can connect with service providers, community members, local businesses, and more. Simply put, that's what our product aims to do. Is we want to connect people. We're never going to be able to provide the services, but we want to connect them so that they can access those as well as the people in their community as well. Some of the ways that we're going to be continuing to innovate how we connect newcomers is through additional features. And again, all of the communities that are on our platform will continue to get these advancements as well. Some I'm really excited about is our AI-powered chat. Some of you guys might be familiar with ChatGPT and all of the stuff that's happening with AI. Well, our team's actually building a federal database on all the programs and services that we're training an AI model on. That in tandem with a vector database built on the local information that our communities actually put into the application allows us to create a 24/7 concierge service AI chatbot that can respond to newcomers any time of day with any questions or concerns they have related to settling or accessing different information. And it can do so in their native language as well. So that we're really excited about. Sponsored support as ways for settlement organizations to cover the costs or even generate revenue. Data polling for them to be able to read and learn more. Welcome perks, community champions, and other features as well. Our community champions feature. Actually, I'll just quickly say a little bit about that. The thing that we're excited about the most when it comes to that feature is basically the ability for a community to invite volunteers in their community to download the companion app. And this feature will basically allow for a settlement organization to vet and police check, or however you'd like to vet volunteers. But then those volunteers have access to the forum that newcomers are being onboarded to. So if a newcomer says, hey, I'm new here, where can I play cricket? Or I'm looking for a place to eat, or a place to go bird watching or take photos, whatever the case may be, or maybe they need childcare, and then community members can actually offer to volunteer to help and be welcome champions. So you can really bolster up the community's efforts in welcoming these newcomers. So anyway, to summarize, what we do is we make newcomer onboarding apps. We make them feature rich, continuously advancing, 10 to 25 times cheaper than any alternative, and built with state-of-the-art technologies like machine learning translation and AI large language models. Here's a cool little video that we released for our Welcome to Lambton app. Because we offered the product, but also the marketing and supports, all of our clients get a bunch of plug and play marketing materials when they launch as well. So that's the Welcome platform. We're a newcomer technologies company on a mission to welcome 1 million new Canadians to Canada. There's my website and email if anyone has any questions or wants to learn more. And that's pretty much it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Lee. First of all, we're especially grateful you took time out of your birthday today to be with us. So a special thanks for that. And thank you for just sharing your story and your family story, kind of the inspiration behind your work on the Welcome app and the Welcome platform. It's really incredible, and I hope more organizations are able to sign on.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem.
And it's my pleasure. I always work on my birthday. Don't worry.
Okay. That's becoming a common thing, I think, these days. All right, so we're going to move into a little Q&A portion of the presentation. So on the Feedloop platform, you will see a window to your left. Feel free to pop questions in there. We do have some that already came through in the Zoom space. The first question is actually for Gerard. Gerard, many communities and organizations will soon be building their budgets for next year. How much do you think should be budgeted to effectively engage with some of the tools that you offer? You just muted, Gerard.
So I was saying that's a good question. And so I would say there's no limit. There's no kind of magic number. As much as the community could afford and or the budget, the more important is, and the budget planning wise as well, to be consistent. So it's not producing 2 or 3 videos, throwing them on the YouTube channel and then expecting people to watch them, but do maybe smaller videos if you don't have a big budget or content, but be consistent, because that regularity is important, and that ongoing approach is important, and also partnering with other platforms such as New Canadians, where we're working together. We love collaboration, and working collaboratively brings the cost of any project down, and also maximizes the impact, the viewership, the reach of that content, just because you're collaborating and not just keeping it on your channel.
Yeah, that's so true. It seems to be in this space. You can see for sure collaboration is key. So that everyone's not working in silos, they're coming together and building something bigger.
Just one short comment as well. And content creation is not expensive, by the way. There are multiple ways of doing it to make it cost effective, but also effective in terms of its quality, its messaging, and its reach. In our case, what helps us is, personally, my background is broadcast news. So we've always worked in tight deadlines and with limited resources, but always the work has been professional and has been viewed by millions of people where in the channels that I used to work for.
Thanks so much. So it looks like we had another question come in for Lee. Lee, Tomorrow Inc. recently secured a financial investment to help get this digital platform into more communities. What are the next steps in the evolution of the app, and how can communities across Eastern Ontario engage with your tool?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it was some good news. We got $100,000 from Verge Capital, and it was a bit of a nerve-wracking thing for me to because this is a social enterprise. It's different than my other businesses. The unit economics are challenging, and this is why we've had to even been radical in our approach to even make it affordable to begin with. But obviously the costs are still significant to the point where they need to be approved. And I've always wanted to make this product free or very low, like negligible costs. So to get there, we need to get to a high level of scale, and that means taking some risk, because we have to provide it at a low cost early and get to the scale where it's sustainable. So Verge has supported us in kicking off a seed round. We're going to be raising a couple $100,000 additionally, so that we can offer the product at a very significantly lower cost than we originally thought we could, which is a blessing for us, and it's a blessing for those early communities that are willing to take the leap. We've got a bunch of other perks for those early communities, but obviously that low cost at the beginning is great. As far as how communities, in Northeastern Ontario and how they could leverage the platform, well, certainly reach out to us and we can talk all about that. Our goal is to bring the welcome apps to as many communities as possible. So, we just launched Welcome to Kingston a couple of weeks ago. We've got a handful that are in the pipeline for, launching next year and in the spring. And we are our goal is, build a welcome to insert your local community. And then additionally provide direct to the end user services as well. So that's part of how we've been able to make it so that the product can be even less expensive, is by creating value for the newcomers in the form of what we call the welcome perks. And this is an amazing opportunity for large corporates to strike their corporate social responsibility. But rather than in the form of advertising to newcomers and trying to do that before they get here and trying to do that when they get here, rather by providing them direct value to build that brand loyalty. So we're hoping to work with telecom, tourism, work with insurance, banking, and a number of other products and services, so that when your community gets the welcome app, all of the community members that are going to be using this app are also going to get exclusive access to products and services that will hopefully save them. Our goal is $10,000, which is like, a tremendous economic transfer from what's typically going to marketing channels going to newcomers. And we think that's a great way to get them, a great start when they get here, whether that's, a discount on their cell phone bill or life insurance or health insurance or whatever. So I think that this is actually going to be an economic opportunity for communities. So rather than a cost, it's going to be like an investment for 10 to 20 to 30x the economic output when it's given back to the newcomers in their community. I think we've already, we're crossing 200, 300 users now in Kingston, and it hasn't even been live, I don't think, even a month. So we're really excited about bringing it to more communities. And if you reach out to me early, while we're in the early stages, we will certainly take care of you.
Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, we always talk about communities coming together, but the platform is literally giving a space for all of these different organizations, businesses, stakeholders to come together in one place and get organized and get it right into the hands of the people that need it. So yeah, that's amazing.
One thing I'll add, actually, if that's okay, Mackenzie, is that most communities already have all these great things. They have great people. When a newcomer arrives in a community, hidden in these homes, there are 100, 200, 300 amazing people with some free time. Maybe they're empty nesters that are loving and warm and kind and generous with their time and money. And but you don't know, they don't collide, right? And same thing with the programs and services it was mentioned earlier. They get here, they don't know how to access some of them services or where they are. And then if they even know where they are, and maybe there's visibility, the visibility is obstructed by language barriers. How cool would it be for someone to post in Hindi on the platform, and then somebody that doesn't speak Hindi be able to respond and say, hey, I can actually help you with that. That's kind of the what I really believe is it's the people. That's what's retained me in my community. It's never the federal government or programs. It was the people that delivered those programs, that connected us, that made the difference. So that's ultimately what we're striving to create, is like, everything's in one place, but it's not. It's all over the place. We're just connecting those users to all of those things.
Thanks so much for sharing that, for answering those questions. Just before we close today, I'll do one final thank you to Gerard and Lee again for your time for this outstanding workshop. As I said, I've made sure to post links to both the websites in our chat, and following the sessions today, those resources will be available for all our participants to engage with. So I'm going to close it out now, give everyone some time to join our 11:30 workshops. So thank you, merci, miigwech, and have a great rest of your day.